gold, ability materials, gear, training materials. I have hoarded all of these, and now I will use them to build the characters and teams. I am Dogbert. I will be your guide on this journey as we try to discover if they are worth it. Hello and welcome to Worth It, and today we are going to take a look at Zombie Iron Man. Now if you didn't know, I didn't have to buy this character. I got a 180 drop. I got really lucky. I also went and bought a lottery ticket. We'll see if the luck holds up. Okay, let's talk about his pros. He mind controls an enemy on their turn if they have bleed on them. Remember, the bleed needs to be on them, but then they'll turn on their teammates and start hitting them and doing a lot of damage. The bigger they are, the more they're going to hit their teammates for. It's really fun to do. He does keep reviving if you have Hela on the field with him. And he just dies, comes back, dies, comes back. Unless, of course, it's like Black Bolt or Spider Weaver or somebody like that. Like Kestrel, I think, can do it. Can stop his revive, so keep that in mind. He speeds up those Gregs, which is quite nice. Because Gregs blow up, they die, they take away speed bar, they do damage. It's great. He does have a turn 1 ability block, which is incredibly useful, especially in matchups of somebody you just need to ability block real quick out of the gate. And then he can prolong negative effects then on turn 2 as well, using his ultimate. In reality, in most matches, you're going to be using these things once in a while, and then you're going to be using the basic a whole lot. And he works at lower investment and star levels because, well, most of his damage is just getting the enemy to turn on each other, and he just kind of dies, revives, so you don't really need him big. You can use him at low stars, and he's perfectly fine. You don't even need red stars, so don't even worry about dark promos. They're really not needed. And he can work without any of his T4s, although some are recommended. And when I talk about T4s, I'll be talking about him in War, where he's supposed to be used. His cons, he needs to have Hela as an ally in order to work. He doesn't revive unless Hela is alive. God, I hate myself for that rhyme. His T4s mostly only affect War, so that's another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at these T4s, if you even want to put the T4s into him. He is pretty much just a War character, very little use outside of War, but he's tremendous in War. His ISO 8 recommendation is going to be Skirmisher. Remember that thing I said about the bleeds on a character? Well, in order to land those bleeds, you need some focus, and we're going to be keeping him at lower stars because we don't care. We don't want to invest any more than we have to. That means we're going to need focus and to land those bleeds. How much the bleeds hit for? Who cares? As long as they're attacking their own teammates, that's all that matters. That's really where his damage comes from. Alright, moving on to his T4 recommendations. His basic is recommended. This gives extra damage. And I got a cat running. It gives extra damage, extra bleed. That's more damage. But the big thing is it does give 50% more damage to a mind-controlled enemy in War, of course. So just keep that in mind. It is a pretty good T4 if you're going to put a T4 on him. His special, this one I absolutely regret. I put this on him. It's really not useful. Gives him like safeguard and immunity, but he just dies and revives, so the buffs go away. So I definitely don't recommend putting the special on him, well, ever. His ultimate is highly recommended, especially if you want to say take out a Heroes for Hire, because this will clear a charge off the primary target. It will clear their charges off, and you'll be able to kill them a lot easier. So it is definitely highly recommended. And finally, his passive is highly recommended. If an enemy has bleed, they take 25% more damage. That is huge. It's not 25% more damage from him. It's 25% more damage, period. Kind of like a more powerful vulnerable. So, is Zombie Iron Man worth it? Well, in Cosmic Crucible, I could definitely see him being useful and worth it there. Teamed up with Hela on offense. You don't want to put him on defense. That's for sure. The reason being symbiotes, Axemen, Eternals, things like that. Because of Hela and the Gregs dying, they'll be getting extra turn. So just keep those things in mind when we're talking about Cosmic Crucible. That on defense, it could go pretty bad. But on offense, I could definitely see him useful against certain teams, with Hela, spreading debuffs and stuff like that. Raids, no. He's a bio character. Doesn't really do anything standalone. He can't be teamed up with Hela. No. Arena, not yet. I haven't seen anything with Arena in him. I've seen Hela in a special case against a certain defense, but that's about it. War, of course, War. This is what he's built for. If he wasn't useful in War, we wouldn't ever build him. So, of course he's useful in War. He's great. Dark Dimension, no, because he can't be teamed up with Hela. Hela's cosmic. He is global. Yes, another global character. But we can't really use him to his full, his full usefulness. That's it. So my suggested level and gear for this guy, actually, is only G14 level 75. Works fine. Takes things out. Takes out Darkholds. Takes out Stormholds. Takes out Heroes for Hire, as we're about to see. So, some more matchups I have actually played, and been just using the duo of Hela and Zombie Iron Man in practice mode. Who was I able to take out? Heroes for Hire? Yep, killed them. Just 2 characters. Remember how hard they were to beat? Now 2 characters beats them. Stormhold. Yep. You can just use these 2 and take out a Stormhold. Now, if you're going against maybe something a little bit bigger, maybe your Hela's not as big, or you just want some insurance policy, throw Dormammu with these 2 just to keep Hela alive, and it makes it a little bit easier. Hero Asgardians. Yep, killed them too. Young Avengers. Yep, killed them. Tangled Web with Cloak and Dagger. Yep, took them down too with just these 2. Wakandans. Do not bring him and Hela against Wakandans. The problem is Black Panther. Once he starts going and he gets it, unless you can kill Black Panther very quickly, he's going to get going and start going and going and going because he's going to kill Gregs or Zombie Iron Man over and over, and he's just going to take you out real quick. I've had very limited success even beating Wakandans. I did do it a couple times, but really stay away from using this team against Wakandans. Gamma. It goes really bad against Gamma. The problem is Gamma starts out with immunity, therefore no bleeds, no ability blocks, no negative effects. And even when I threw like Dormammu and other people with them, it didn't matter. Could not take out Gamma. Underworld. Now this one's an interesting one. This is the full Underworld with Mr. Negative. I was not able to do it as a duo. However, I'm putting a star here. I was able to actually beat them when I threw Dormammu along with Zombie Iron Man and Hela. You just need Dormammu to revive Hela, have a revive once on Hela, so she comes back and stays living. And you get through the initial burst of them taking 100 million turns, and then you beat them. So, that's pretty much going to wrap things up for Zombie Iron Man. He's definitely worth it. You can build him at low stars. You can get him free to play as long as you use your cores right now for the event. You don't need red stars, which is quite nice, so don't worry about those dark promos. And until next time, everybody,